Okay, so yesterday, my friend called me. Well, at least one of them called me, and he wanted to discuss Nigerian politics. And for a while, I've just been like, this political sphere of this 2022 for the 2023 elections. I really just don't have any interest. But he was the second person to call me in the last like 3 weeks, and these are like two of my very close friends, and each time they always want to talk about politics. So I just say, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna oblige because they wanted to know like who do I support, who do I support for president, or who would I like to be president, and that was how I told them. I said, listen, it's not about who I support because I really do not support anybody, or but rather to be who I'd like. I said a better way to frame that question will be who would I like to be president, but who do I think would be a better president? And I actually got to talk with that one friend, well, the latter one that called. In any event, before I go on, please like, subscribe, and feel free to comment. So, left to me in the past, I'd be like real hyped up when it comes to Nigeria politics. I'll be tweeting about it, I'll be discussing it with people. But after the GEJ debacle, the horrible government we had with Goodluck Jonathan as president, you would think that Nigeria would make a better choice. And personally, me, I wanted Buhari to defeat Jonathan, and that was actually what happened. But we see what has happened in the last 8 years. And don't get it twisted, I really think Buhari has done a good job. But not as good a job as you would expect, because you would think for a country like Nigeria, we are supposed to be running. But at this stage, I think we're barely crawling. And I do understand, it's part of democracy, it is part of the shift change that happens. People start understanding their rights, and it's evolution, democratic evolution. We evolving, and I get that. But I think, and then again, maybe this is just human nature. I think we should be doing more. I think we should have been done more. So that aside, I chose not to discuss this upcoming elections with anybody because I am very disappointed. I'm very disappointed in the choice of candidates because if after the disasters of Yaradua, even Obasanjo, Jonathan, absolute disaster, Buhari, halfway disaster. The only choices we have that are being presented to us are Bola Tinubu, peterobi, and for Christ's sake, Mogbe Atiku. Are you serious? Atiku. Anyway, Sha. So when my friend called me, I told him that, XYZ has also been calling me. He said, so what did you tell him? I said, well, I just swerved the whole discussion every time he calls me. It's like, nah. So, but this my guy. He was like, no. You have to tell me who you endorse. I said, okay, so I don't endorse anybody, but I'll go based on merit, and I'll go based on my personal feelings devoid of logic on who I want. So, to be fair, who I think should be president is not who I think is most qualified to be president. So as you listen to this, I think you should have that fact in hand. Now, the reason why I want Peter Obi to be president is not because I think he's more qualified. Actually, I don't. I don't think he's as qualified as Bola Tinubu, and I'll give you my instances, which I think you probably have even heard other pundits state. But because of the nature of the Nigerian political space, I think it is fair that a person, a qualified person, at least qualified in the Nigerian sense of Igbo extraction, should be made president. And I think the only person qualified right now is Peter Obi. Peter Obi, as compared to, say, the Igbos had put forward someone like Okorocha, or any of the, and I'm not calling Okorocha a clown, but I'm saying if the Igbos had put any of these other clowns that claimed they wanted to be president, I would have turned my back on them. But I think, in comparison to the three top people right now, I really think that Peter Obi, at least as a representative of the Southeast, I think is most qualified to represent not only his people, but the country at large. Now, let's not forget that Peter Obi is part of the old brigade. I don't care how people try to whitewash Obi. He's part of them. He's no different. So as much as they want to say Tinubu is corrupt or Atiku is corrupt, which I don't think Atiku is just corrupt. I think Atiku is babanla super duper corrupt. He's on a different level. Tinubu is like still on earth. Atiku's corruption is way over in Jupiter, Mars, Venus, all those. It's beyond this world. So I wouldn't even want Atiku anywhere close to the Nigerian treasury. But Obi, the only reason I would want Obi now, yes, I really do abhor people that always go just based on religion and tribe. So maybe that would be hypocritical of me given the reasons I want Obi to be president. But I think for the Igbo ethnic group to have a sense of belonging in that country, it is about time for them to have someone in charge, especially when you consider that the last time they had any elected official in charge of the country was back in '66, and that was Nnamdi Azikiwe, and he was actually just a ceremonial president. So I think right now, especially considering that the big three are fielding contestants, yeah, it's a game of numbers, but I would really hope he's in charge. Not because I think he's the best for the job, no. But I think it'll do good for the unity of the country. But then again, can we afford another wasted 8 years? Because to be honest, I think that is what will happen if Obi was to ascend that seat. And why do I think that? Well, first of all, I and this might sound real rude, so I beg as you to hear this, huh? If you did support Obi, no vex for me, I beg. but I just think he's batting above his pay grade. Like his Niger is too complex for him. But I'm gonna get into that as I go on. Now, why do I think Obi will falter if he gets there? Well, for one, who is he going to work with in the National Assembly? I mean, yes, in Niger politics, it's a game of, most of the politicians are just horrid and horrible people. They think about their stomachs. They don't think about the people. So we know what's going to happen if Obi should become president. Then a lot of people are going to defect to the Labour Party because they will be dependent on federal might to bring them back into power in the local elections when they haven't done anything to deserve it. So yes, they will see a lot of defection, and that's one thing I think Nigeria should really fix. They should make it really difficult for someone to just cross over to a different party whenever they feel like. That's why we have all these charlatans like these guys. I don't even want to mention their name because I don't even think they deserve it. This one that's always eating food everywhere. That Obasanjo said, all you have to do is just open cooler of rice and he'll start eating. His name doesn't even deserve to be mentioned. But yeah, people like that, that just run from party to party. I think whoever becomes president should try to put a stop to that. So yeah, someone like, who is Obi gonna work with? He doesn't have any representative. I don't even think Labour Party has a senator. So how is he gonna pass? How is he gonna get bills passed into laws? That's one. Two, I don't think Obi is any different from the other politicians. And notice I'm not saying Atiku is a complete crook, so I'm not even mentioning him. I'm mentioning someone like Tinubu. So, who is he going to work with when Obi is getting endorsed by Wike? He's getting endorsed by Obasanjo. These are the people that are going to help him. These are the people that are going to decide who he should include in his cabinet. Don't get it twisted. Wike, for example, is not doing anything for free. Wike is going in there. They're going to sign an agreement on the blood of Nigerians. I'll deliver this state to you. You give me this in return when you become president. Just imagine someone like Wike becoming finance minister under Obi. You think it's impossible? No. Obasanjo is there in Ota. He's going to sit down and give Obi a list of people. There's 20 people. I want you. There's going to be Chief of Defense. There's going to be Chief of Air Force. This one's going to be in charge of NMPC. This one's going to be in charge of CBN. He's working with the same people that put us where we are. Now, as for Obi not being qualified, I know I get people get upset. But what I was waiting for when he declared his candidacy, because I liked him off the back, I was like, okay, good. He doesn't have a godfather. I was happy. But it took this guy forever. And when I say guy, I don't mean to disparage or disrespect him. No, please. So if you're listening, I'm not trying to disrespect Obi. But it took him months to say, this is my manifesto. Whenever you ask him a problem or a question about how he was going to find a solution to a certain problem, like the derivation of funds, how they split the money being derived from oil, or they ask him about restructuring, state policing, he will not answer. All he kept saying, he would say, just say, just trust me. Just say, when you put me there, you will see. Trust me. Trust me. You will see. And if I don't do it, just hold me accountable. Who has time for all that nonsense? Nobody has time for that nonsense. It's either you're going to tell us what your plans are and we can hold you to it. We don't want you to get there and then you're going to say, oh, well, I never told you this, so you can't hold me accountable for that. And I do understand he wasn't trying to throw off the North. You know, if he starts talking about, for example, state policing, and they saying, whoa, hold up. We benefit from our officers being able to go into your territory and hold your people at ransom in the name of being federal policemen, federal police officers. We get it. Or you're scared of saying, well, everybody, whatever you produce, you keep, and you just pay taxes to the federal government, and the federal government is just in charge of border security and collecting taxes, revenues, customs. You're scared. You're scared to say these things, and it is understandable. But there were better ways to come forth and say them, and this is where I think Tinubu showed his expertise in politics. You know, this is where he showed that he was better than Obi, because he laid down his plans. He laid them bare. The same things he's been saying since '99. Restructuring, state policing. The same thing all his disciples are always talking about. What was the guy in charge of FIRS? I forget. The Federal Inland Revenue Service. The same thing Fashola been talking about. The same thing Sanwo-Olu been talking about. The same thing he's the guy he put in as vice, the current vice president. They keep talking about the same thing Tinubu is saying. So they never veered from what their vision was or what their visions are. And these are the things I was expecting. This is where I was expecting Obi to best Tinubu. Where everything, just trust me. Just trust me. When I get there, you will see. We should wait for you to get there. What if you never get there? Tell us how you're going to do it so we can put you there. So, in any event, who would I want to be president? Without a doubt, Obi. Who do I think will be a better president for the Federal Republic of Nigeria based on his antecedents and based on the vision he has stated that he has for the country? And I think the better qualified man would be Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But if I was to go with sentiments and the fact that I am scared of Tinubu having his hands on the finances of the country, and I know he's gonna reward all his cronies and all his boys, and if we're to believe, I don't know if this is true, but if we are to believe everything we hear that is coming out of Lagos, the rumors that they're saying, oh, this is how they split the finances in Lagos, then I would not want Tinubu anywhere near the checkbook called Nigeria. But If we were to say in terms of qualification, hands down, it'll be him. If I was to go in terms of sentiment, devoid of logic, I would say put OB there, and that'll send a message to the old brigade. Godfatherism is gonna be dead, hopefully, because OB, like I said, frolics with OBJ, and he hangs around Wiki and Co. But I guess in the end, the old brigade are dying out. One thing though that I can say I am very, very, very disappointed in is the fact that it is a bunch of old men that are once again going to be in charge. These guys, Nigeria does not need a president that is older than tops 45. And even 45 is old. When you look at the average age of the citizenry, there's no reason why the president is going to be between the ages of 60 and 500 years old. Whatever age Atiku and Tinubu are. There's no reason why we're having such old presidents. The president of that country, the guy or the lady that should be in charge, should not be anything more than 45. Shouldn't have been born before 76. Yeah. Even Shore, all those people, they're older. They're in their 50s. You have what you call it is OB. OB is like what, 60. Atiku is like what, 500 years old. Tinubu is like maybe 510 years old. Like all these guys, they're not saying someone like Tinubu does not have the idea. He does, but he would have been good 20 years ago. There's no reason why more than half of the country is under the age of 40. And then it's a bunch of geriatrics, a bunch of septuagenarians, octogenarians that are in charge of making policies for the younger ones. You would think that after all the noise that these people made with their NSARS or whatever they called, that things if not knowing, you would think after all the noise they made that they would have put forth a youthful person. And I'm not saying it's necessary that you have to put a youthful person, because we've seen someone like Dimeji Bankole, how useless that one was when he was speaker, how corrupt he also was. But at least there should have been someone credible that the youth could have put up with good charisma, with good knowledge, and good antecedents. Maybe not necessarily in public life, but maybe in his private business life, that was interested in politics, and put him forward and say, okay, you are the leader. You move us forward. Back in the day, all this Nnamdi Azikiwe and Co., how old were they? Tafawa Balewa, Ahmadu Bello, Awolowo. How old was Gowon when he became president? Yeah, we understand, okay, that was circumstance, a coup, How old were they? So why do we always have to go with the same guys that have been in charge for the last 50 years? These guys, they are supposed to have been retired. The youth, the same way they should have came out. They came out in NSARS. That's how they should have came out this time. But instead, you see these clowns. What are they doing on Twitter? Trying to sell these same old people, these same clowns that led your freaking NSARS. They gave me such a freaking headache that I just made up my mind. I said, listen, I don't even have any interest in all the nonsense they're doing anymore. These people led you guys to go and be dancing and clapping and getting shot. Military was using you guys as target practice. They used you guys and they were filming themselves, and they were trying to use all of you as asylum cases so they can leave the country, and they left and bounced and left you guys. Some of them couldn't even make it to where they were going. They're on Twitter now just wreaking havoc every day, carrying all kinds of unfounded rumors. Very, very illogical and irresponsible set of people that people should not even be listening to. And they should be a pariah. A lot of the people you people listen to, the investigative journalist, the freedom fighter. There's another one that calls himself an activist. All of a sudden, he's an activist now. You see when they write under his name, they say blah, 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 human rights activist. I'm always like, yo, what is wrong with these people? Like, what's wrong with them in the head? Then there's all that midget. That one just be writing all kinds of big English. Then he'll draft a proposal, try to get Atiku to pay some money, and you people follow these dudes. That's why I'm happy. That one, I'm not even going to mention his name too either. The one from California. That's why I'm happy the way he's attacking the crap out of Obi. Because when he was doing it to Buhari, y'all was all happy, jumping around him, dancing. You were happy. They were saying all kinds of things. Buhari is this, Buhari is illiterate, Malam this, that. Just because he lost his post. Once Jonathan got kicked out, he lost his post. So now he had to think of a way to eat. Oma Wambe on his bio it says best-selling author. Best-selling author of what? What did you write, bro? You ain't no best-selling author. Get the F out of here. Get out of here. So, but I'm happy because Obi has driven him mad now. I'm happy the pepper is giving Obi's people. He has gone completely bonkers. It has gone from just being politics now to just being completely personal. I like that. Let all the useless people affecting the society, may God keep letting them expose themselves. Then these are the people you guys look up to. Those people, they're supposed to tweet and you just ignore them. You see them like me. I block all of them. Years. I'm not saying today, not yesterday. Years ago. Years ago. 6, 7, 8 years, 9. Block all of them. Because right away I sent through them. I'm like, I ain't got time for this. Block all of them. The midget, the one in Cali, the so-called investigative journalist, the so-called human rights activists. Block all of them. I don't want to even have nothing. I don't want to see nothing that these clowns got to say. Because that's what all of them are. Complete clowns, bozos. Oh yeah, cause Soroke will want anybody to about to follow anybody following them. You're supposed to just block them too. Don't bring this guy on my timeline, and don't bring this short midget chick on my timeline. I block one down. But well, listen. In any event, that's all I got. That's the end of my rants. Who would I want to be president? Obi. Who do I think would be the right president after February 5th, 2023? Tinubu. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. Peace.